Hey guys, this is Matt from Tackle.com. Today we're going to be talking about something a lot of advanced anglers or anglers that have been in the sport already know, but a lot of novice guys don't know and are kind of afraid to ask questions about. We're going to be talking about bait selection and when to know to pick the right size or color. Say you're going to a new lake. Say your guys are all coming down here to our lake, Diamond Valley, or Lake Paris, or even going up north to the Delta. It's all the same. You've probably been on the website, you've probably looked at everybody's reports, sat there for a month or two gathering information, gathering tackle, getting ready for your trip, but you still never actually been on the water. The best recommendation I have for you guys is to show it with nothing tied on the deck of the boat, nothing on your rods. Just show up, cruise down the bank with your good pair of polarized sunglasses. I actually use Canon sunglasses, really like these, good quality. But Costa Del Mar's, any of that kind of stuff will work. But cruise down the bank, look for any sign of life. By sign of life, I mean crawdads, baby bass, bluegill, fry, tadpoles. It could be anything. Just look for sign of life. That's going to give you a clue and an inclination of what to pick and what size of baits to pick. Say you're going down the bank and you see a bunch of little bluegill. If they're all about 1.5 inches long, don't be throwing a bigger bait. Now, I know the swim bait scene and all these websites have actually blown it out of proportion and say, oh, go big or go home. Well, that's a good thing sometimes, but a lot of times you're going to go home without going big. So if you see a bunch of 1.5 inch to maybe 4-inch long bluegill, my cue is to throw a smaller bait, roughly matching the same size as the fish they're actually eating. If you see bass floating around in the middle of the lake, you cruise up to him, oh, I wonder why this one's dead. You open his mouth, there's a big bluegill in his throat. That's my cue to throw a bigger bait. That fish ate that bait for a reason, especially if you see multiple bass out there with bluegill in their throat. They ate those things for a reason. That's what they're chewing on. So you want to pick a bait roughly the same size as the baits, as the forage the bass are eating and stuff like that. It's really simple. Now, it's just common sense. Go down the bank. Don't really be in a hurry to get in the water and go shake worms or go throw crankbaits, go throw reaction baits, whatever. Just keep it simple. Go out there, figure out what's going on, evaluate the situation, and then get after it. Now, when it comes to color, that's going to be the hardest part for you guys. I see it all the time. I see guys going down the bank. One guy's throwing a chartreuse and white bait. The other guy's throwing a black bait. Or one guy's throwing a trout bait on the surface wall, like a lunker punker or something, while the next guy's throwing a HUD on the bottom. Now, it's cool to mix and match. It's cool to pick colors. But like I said, go to that lake, identify what the fish are feeding on, identify the coloration of the fish or the forage that's on the bank. If it helps, catch a couple. Look at them. If it's legal in your water that you're fishing, throw a crawdad trap. See what color the crawdads are. By all means, use every bit of information to your disposal. So, at our lake, for example, this time of year we have a lot of, 2.5 to 3-inch long bluegill right now. They're kind of a pale out color. Really olive green to a transparent, almost white on the belly, almost like a translucent color. Very similar to this one. I had this bait painted up to mimic the color of the bluegill out here on Diamond Valley. As you can see, for the most part, it's olive to white. No, nothing really fancy. Just a little bit of purple vertical bars. That's the color of our bluegill out here this given time. Now, the size is a little different from right now, but usually, let's say in a month or two, July, August, September, I start noticing bigger fish macking down the bigger bluegill. This is about the size I want to go with right now. Just because I know big fish eat big baits doesn't mean I always have to throw a big bait. Keep that in the back of your head. But it's pretty simple. The best thing to do is just go out to a lake. Don't listen to anything except for your own gut and your own instinct. If you go down the bank and see a bunch of bluegill on the bank or a bunch of shad or a bunch of baby bass, there's a good possibility those bigger fish are eating those things. But that's pretty much it. As always, we thank you for your business. Look forward to helping you guys become better anglers.